the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And I have been watching Doctor Who. Not much of a surprise, right? No, I watch it. Does the day end in Y? I probably watch Doctor Who, right? If I'm not watching Doctor Who, I'm listening to Doctor Who, I'm more likely doing. But I do other things too, right? I like Survivor. That's a normie show. I like most things with Gordon Ramsay. That's just how I roll, mate. Interesting fun fact: at the fall of the Roman Empire, and this is a signifier apparently of an academic was telling me, right? I don't know any of this stuff. I just like talking to people, right? But an academic was telling me that a signifier of an end of an empire is you get celebrity chefs. The first time you had a celebrity chef apparently was at the end of the Roman Empire. Who knew? So we get celebrity chefs now. Well, look, it took a couple of years for the Roman Empire to fall. I think basically, didn't it? I don't know. Again, I'm not a historian or an academic. I just like chatting to people. I'm basically interested. Anyway, all that notwithstanding, this is not about the two doctors who we're talking about celebrity chefs. Shock-eye doing it. They should do an androgram cooking show. Okay, somebody out there on YouTube. Okay, makeup's easy. An androgram cooking show. We need that. I think that would be quite fun. Sadly, I think Stratford-Johns has passed away. Why am I talking about the two doctors? Because I don't want to talk about Timelash. It's taken me a long time to get this. I've been going through the season 22 box set, which is, I have to tell you, there have been better seasons released on Blu-ray. Basically all. One second, I'm looking over them now. We got season 10. Yeah, that's better. Season 12, season 17, season 26. All these are better than season 22. This is the best box set. This is freaking awesome. I don't know if it's just my era, 85. I was having a good time in 85. I was a young whippersnapper. But this box set is just phenomenal. This story isn't very good. This story is a lot of work to get through. I found it a lot. There are elements of it that aren't bad. There are elements of that actually very, very good. Paul Darrow to name but one, whose performance is just it is worth watching for that. I mean, maybe I should just make a super cut of anything with Paul Darrow in it, because as soon as he's not in it, forget it. But it's just bizarre. Anyway, I've been slogging through this. It's taken me, maybe a couple of weeks. I think the Two Doctors review came out about a week or two ago. It feels like a long time, but now I'm up to Revelation of the Daleks. But still, I plowed through it, and this is still a recommend. This set for all this season, this set for all its problems, still for me a hearty recommend. Fine. Before we get to the review, like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are very, very, very good. And again, I'm going to slag this off, and I love it. Don't get me wrong. This one, like Vengeance on Barrows, I love. And there's problematic. Attack of the Cybermen, I love. Problematic. Mark of the Rani. The way to watch Mark of the Rani, I've decided, is to just understand the Master is on ketamine, a bit of Special K. He discovers some insane drug because he is speeding out through that whole thing, and his decision-making process, it only makes sense if he's on like crystal meth or something, right? What's that? Do you remember that episode of Breaking Bad? Oh, look, another normie thing to watch. Breaking Bad, when Aaron Paul wants to infiltrate into a meth house, and he knows exactly how to act because he's a meth head, and they just start digging a hole outside the guy's house, and he's like, "I gotta dig, man. I gotta dig." That's what the Master's like in Mark of the Rani, right? That's totally what the Master's like. Then of course Two Doctors, weird, interesting, and quite good. I would go back there. The trouble is, all this is very grim. This entire season is tonally has a problem going all the way through it, right? Much as I love it, I gotta be honest. Fine. Before we get into the review, like, share, subscribe, comment, Substack, sign up to my email newsletter. That basically tells you where you will find my scintillating and sparkling content. It has been said that Liam have been able to walk after signing up for it. It has been said mainly by me, and I was lying. I thought I'd better put that disclaimer in. But please sign up to it anyway. It's free. I give out a bunch of free, interesting stuff on it. Like, I got this whole archive of Doctor Who magazine going back decades. So I like putting out the old ads or old, like, out-of-print comic strips or short stories. Just sign up for that. I put a bunch of stuff on that. Also have a paid one, which I don't send out enough material on. It's basically an excuse for you to send me a few digital copies. I will not stop you for that. Anyway, I'm serializing this book right now on it. I got to send out a couple of issues. Maybe I'll do that today. Maybe. I say that every day, right? I say that maybe today is a day, though. Who knows? Who knows or dares to dream? I'm certainly not me. Fine. Like, share, subscribe, comment, Substack. Yes, all those things. All those things are a very, very good thing to do. What's not a very good thing to do? Stay in a job where you really don't have to, right? You really don't have to, and that you hate. And why am I saying this? Because that, I believe, is one of the major problems with season 22. Right? John Nathan Turner was the facilitator, as it were. I mean, he had the power to give the creative direction, but he basically handed that over to Eric Saywood. Eric Saywood was not happy by season 22. He didn't like Colin Baker's casting, and he couldn't stand Colin Baker's costume, and he really didn't know what to do with it. Now, add into that the sort of thing he was more interested in is gritty drama, right? Now, that was the style of the time. I mean, in comic books, which is always, I think, the precursor to television and movies, we had a lot, in the mid-'80s, we had a lot of significant and very, very, very good revisionism in comic books. We had The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller, which Batman before then was like hi, happy smiling, here's Batmite and Batdog and Robin, and now he's like this dark, tortured vigilante in a dystopian future. We had Watchmen, we had before that I think we had Warrior, Warrior magazine or comic, whatever you want to call it, was coming out. I was doing the same thing. Alan Moore was working on Marvel Man, but it was bringing a real grittiness right into culture. So that was the style, the style of the time. But I feel that Eric Saywood somewhat lacked an understanding of what Doctor Who is, because he leant into it way too hard, and you got, again, very good stories with very good ideas, was that very, very weirdly inappropriate violence going through it. The Lytton's hands being crushed in Attack of the Cybermen. John did the cannibalism, Avengers on Varus, basically everything, right? Plus you had Nicola Bryant, squeezed into spandex, which made quite an impression on me, let me tell you. Poor Nicola, always trapped forever in my spank bag. You're not getting out, darling, and I would love to let you free, but look, you hoved into view at the wrong time in my life, and that's where it's going to stay. So then we get to Timelash, and it's really, this seems to me, Eric Saywood going, who gives a crap, right? This is garbage. This is awful. Why even bother? So, I mean, the writer on it, he was a new writer at the time. I think the only thing he did was Angels. And he was looking to bring, John Nathan Turner, I think, in a good way, wanted to bring in new writing talent. Which that's the lifeblood of Doctor Who. Constantly turning out. That's why Doctor Who works, I think, as a testing ground for new writers. And when Eric Saywood left and Andrew Cartmel got in, that's probably one of the first things he did. He really brought a new energy to show, even though he had no idea what he was doing. He was a total normie, not as much of a normie as Glenn McCoy, right? Glenn McCoy, he's working on a Patrick Troughton-esque normie view of Doctor Who, which is what this story is. It's this world is not dissimilar to, what's the name of the world in The Dominators? Where you got this very strange sci-fi futuristic society, kind of like Brave New World, Things to Come, right? So something like that, which again, this is going time story. And his big great idea was what if H.G. Wells had met Doctor Who? Which seems to me to be a bit of a, I mean, yes, I hear it, but it just seems to be a bit of a simplistic, basic idea. And I think that both Eric Saywood and John Nathan Turner went, yes, we're gonna go for that. Is a problem. Having said that, Colin Baker with young H.G. Wells was actually a very good dynamic. I think that's one of the strongest parts of the story, right? I really do. It would be better if he wasn't H.G. Wells, because it's so on the nose, right? It's so obvious and so on the nose, which I would say much of the story is. But again, this is a real throwback to the weaker aspects of the 1960s story. So we had Perry being chained up and menaced by a giant penis, which is what it looked like. Especially in HD, the more looks like. Let me bring my. And it looks like it's all veiny. It looks like she's been screaming at this giant penis, which does reflect my my psychological state at the time as well. And now, right? And now. But the story just doesn't make any sense. It isn't pulled together, and I just don't think the script editor did his job. It's very loose. And it could have been tied together, right? I think it could have been tied together. But, this is just the point where Eric Sables was like, who gives a shit, right? And that's really what his attitude was. So this episode, weirdly, they added in new special effects. Why this episode, right? There was Vengeance on Varus. They all could have used new special effects to a certain extent. Which one would I have chosen? I've just seen them all. I mean, a few odd effects on Attack of the Cybermen would have made it a lot better. Just not many. And I would say the same with Vengeance on Varus as well. Basically, they could have taken this effects budget and spread it across about 3 stories, and it would have been stronger, right? Would have been much stronger. Look, coming up to Revelation of the Daleks, they got new effects on that, and one of the new effects just so annoys me because it doesn't work. We had in the original transmission Davros zapping Orsini, but the map was wrong, so Davros looked like he was both in front of and behind Orsini. So they changed that, and they had him. Again, the scale was just totally wrong. It didn't work. The problem was Orsini's legs were like, and they should have been going in front of Davros. They were actually going behind Davros. So I wish they fixed that. All of that would have been better spent than putting the new special effects on this, which does make it better, right? Which does make it better, but it is somewhat pouring perfume on a pig, right? That's really what I would describe it. I mean, while I was watching this, I was like, well, that looks okay. It's a bit awful. But I then had to go back to the original one to see how bad it looked. And it was just dire. The production values on this are just absolutely dire. The terrifying Timelash is a box with tinsel in it, essentially, and lights. And it just looks, I mean, I understand, mid-80s, they didn't have the greatest budget. It just looks like garbage. It really does. So that looks better now, especially when Colin Baker's actually in the Timelash. I mean, that whole scene is just stupid. It's a time corridor, and you go around it like a jungle gym. It was just a bit dumb. And the disparate parts of this thing really just don't pull together. Having said that, there's a lot I like about it. I love Paul Darrow's performance, which was bonkers McBonkers, completely insane. Basically, Richard II, and it worked. It worked for this stupid little script, right? I think and every time he's on screen, it's a delight. It is generally like the first time you see him, he struts across the Timelash room, and somebody goes, and just so he has a quick slap at the back of his hand, you hardly knows, which he doesn't even make eye contact. It's fun, okay? It's a lot of fun. The Doctor's interplay with him, Colin Baker's interplay with him was also good. Bored makeup was actually excellent as well, but the whole thing just, again, doesn't make much sense. It doesn't pull together. It doesn't pull together at all. And that sort of thing in the story really was something that John Nathan Turner gave over to the writer and the script editor, and I think that's where they really genuinely failed. Right. So I've seen other weak stories released on Blu-ray, and they've all fared better than this. In my mind, they've all fared a lot better. Most of season 24, this one, there's just little to recommend. Well, I think I've recommended everything about it. There's a weird scene in it where Paul Darrow, they remember Per is a botanist, and she gets super excited when she sees a bunch of flowers, like a flower bridge. Oh, flowers! And she smiles and she smells them. And Paul Darrow says, "Oh, they're a trap. Well, what is thing? Whatever they're a carful species. They sometimes blow acid in the face. I mean, well, why do you have them on display out there? That would no." There's a lot of things like that, right? There is a lot of things like that. But Nicola Bryant gave a gusto performance, right? She just screamed and screamed and screamed, and she went for it, right? So, look, if they were selling this individually, I might say think twice on the basis of this disc alone. But wait, there's more. The extras on these are, as always, freaking excellent, right? Just absolutely freaking excellent. Firstly, the new effects, which I wish there were more of. The sock puppet aliens with the weird non-dramatic voices. That could have been done better. I think maybe they could have improved on the Morlocks as well. Again, maybe not have them look like massive giant penises, right? Maybe not do that. That might have been better. So start the extras. My first thing I always go to is behind the sofa. We got Peter Davin, Janet Fielding, and Sarah Sutton, and they're just kind of bewildered as they watch this episode. They watch it and they react. They're just what? and again, when they do see the Perry being menaced by the Morlocks, which should have been the title of the episode, menaced by the Morlocks. It's the hilarity ensues. But there's a lot of famous actors in there. Who was it? Who did they point out? People who I had no idea. David Chandler playing Herbert H.G. Wells. But I think it was very good. But who was there? They mentioned somebody like, oh my God, that's this person, and he's really famous now, and I have never heard of him. Just going through the cast to see if I see the names of it. Could it be David Ashton? I remember they go, that's whoever it is. Say that's David Ashton. Get out of here. And he's really, 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 very young in this. Gianna Crowley playing Verna. Yes, plays it. One note, one expression fits all. It's just weird, right? It's just Stephen McIntosh. That's who it was. He's like, that's Stephen McIntosh. What's he doing here? Not much, because he's killed pretty early on. The scenes where they throw people into the Timelash at the beginning, much better with the new special effects, by the way. Who else? Paul Darrow we gone through. So all that stuff. Oh yeah, we're on to the behind the scenes stuff, behind the sofa. So yeah, it's just a bemusement. Colin Baker, Nicola Bryant, and what's the guy's name? Davros. I just got the name Eric Wisher in my head, but I know it's not Eric Wisher. Who is it? It's Terry Malloy. Oh, thank goodness for that. Terry Malloy. Watch it. And they're quite positive about it, but they will be. They made it. Apart from Terry Malloy and Sylvester McCoy and Wendy Pabry, a strange combination. They're again very bemusingly looking on, but they found this the best episode so far, because there isn't like insane amounts of gratuitous violence in it, which that is a fair point. We got the making of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, the making of Timelash, and this was from the DVD release that came out 22 years after they made it, and a lot of it is Eric Saywood trashing John Nathan Turner, just blaming him for everything. Eric, if you were that upset making it, which you clearly were, you're a freelance writer. You should have left, right? You really shouldn't have been there. You go like, look, you really should have seen when you saw the costume. I saw Colin Baker say, look, I don't know on a creative way how to make this work, right? I just don't know. I can't, and he should have been honest with himself. I mean, I would like a job writing an episode or two, but I think we need to get a new script editor, because I can't help you on this, John. Been honest, but probably he was caught in the moment, right? Probably he was caught in the moment, and he was like, well, it's my job, I'll get it work, and a little bit of hindsight would have worked a lot better. But the highlight of the disc is Nicola Bryant in conversation with Matthew Sweet, these documentaries, these interviews are fan-freaking-tastic, right? Absolutely fantastic. I like Matthew Sweet. I like his outlook on life. I like his inquisitive mind, and he's a very, very good interviewer. Look, he is a bit of a lefty-lovey, right? He's very much a bit of a lefty-lovey, but he seems kind of a friendly one at that. An academic lefty-lovey. The interview, though, absolutely fascinating, right? Absolutely fascinating. So much stuff that I never even thought of before. About the world. Her mother was essentially deaf and blind, mostly. I mean, to a great extent, because she got, what was it? Tuberculosis. I can't remember what it was. She got some illness when she was young, and it was before the National Health. And you didn't get a doctor straight away. You wanted to see if you got better first. And because of that, she was permanently damaged in a significant way. I mean, just from having the curtains open, the first thing the doctor did was close the curtains when he came in. She did get surgery when she was older, which returned the hearing in one ear. And then another surgery which and so that was incredible, right? That was incredible. And there's a great story where there's a bee flying, right? And she never heard a bee flying around before, and it lands on the window, and the bee stops buzzing, right? And her mother starts crying, and he said, "No, she just stopped flying." He said, "I didn't know that. I didn't know that when they land on the window, they stop buzzing." It's crazy. So really, really fascinating story. Much more fascinating was Nicola Bryant's story. She pretended throughout her entire time there that she was American to everybody, right? Absolutely everybody, including John Nathan Turner. Absolutely fascinating story that she was in drama school and he had to do a musical play, which she said she wasn't very good at. And she was playing an American, and she had a casting agent come by and see her in it. And he made notes, said one real American and everybody else fake. So her accent convinced him. So then about a month or so later, he gets the casting call across his desk looking for an American companion for Doctor Who. So well. She says, "Well, I'm not American," and how else they describe the companion? Tall, blonde Californian. I'm like, I'm a short brunette, English person. So yeah, but your accent was very, very good. So she goes along to the interview and does everything, and she gets the part right. And she says, "Okay, can we tell them now? I'm not, I'm not American. Let's just get the contract signed." And then, as the contract was being signed, she goes on breakfast TV and said, "Look, you got to keep the accent up." But even so, she started. That's when she invented. I've got dual nationality because she, the thing that's my biggest impression of Nicola Bryant from this is how agreeable she was. How I'm like, well, that's just what I have to do. That's just what I have to do, and I will do it, right? And the one time she didn't, which is being on Jim Will Fix It. She got really pissed off John Nathan Turner. What was fascinating though is how people wanted to control her, and look, the fact is like this: she's a very attractive woman. Still, she's a very, very attractive woman, and men, subconsciously. I'm not saying this is a conscious thing. Yeah, men like to own beautiful things. I think that was the overriding. Idea of Sharaz Jek in Caves of Androzani, and even if you're not consciously like that, there is that. It's built into us. It's hardwired into men to be like that to a certain extent. And we were in an age where with sexism was normal. She said when she went into the BBC, one time in 3, somebody would slap her ass or squeeze her bum, right? And Matthew said, what did you do? He said, well, you had to turn around and smile oh, thank you. And so I said, it's insane. I forgot that's what the world was like. And, I'm not a huge proponent of Me Too. I'm even a lesser proponent for that. That again, absolutely crazy. But the ongoing story of her having to keep a fake accent. She never broke accent to John Nathan Turner the entire time she went through. And then when they had to write her out, she said, I wanted to go out with a bang, but she did it in the American accent. And she said that's kind of become her identity to some extent. So that's why she did all this extra stuff, right? She did all the dodgy photo shoots, right? Because John Nathan Turner very much wanted to control her, because he thought, wait a minute, she's super hot, right? She's super hot. I can, she's my discovery. It was her first role. She's my discovery. I can mold her, right? And there was a fun story, she said, when she met him about a year or so after she left, and it was at John Nathan Turner's secretary's wedding, and she was wearing her own clothes, and John was like, "Oh, you look fantastic! And what have you lost weight? You look so good." No, John, I know how to dress myself. But she said it in an English accent. And did John Nathan Turner ever did he acknowledge it? No. Really, no. And I love this interview, right? It's, again, Matthew Sweet, very, very playful and incisive and intelligent, right? So that's excellent. We got a bunch of stuff ported over from the original release. H.G. Wells meets Doctor Who. Again, Matthew Sweet and Kim Newman talking about H.G. Wells' influence on Doctor Who and talking about Timelash. Was Doctor Who rubbish? A bunch of talking heads from 2007. So this is in, David Tennant was just exploding, right? Doctor Who world was insane at that point. Trying to remind people that Doctor Who wasn't rubbish, even though Timelash was. And the specific criticisms mostly just don't hold up. I mean, we all know there's no wobbly sets. I don't remember a set wobbling. The most wobbly set type thing I ever saw was the hand holding Sutek's pillow, right? And other than that, I mean, there must be more. There must be more. But I think this was all completely acceptable for the age. However, the age was a transitional one, where in the cinema you had stuff like Star Wars and Close Encounters, and this stuff just couldn't compete whatsoever. What I think really they should have done is made it earthbound much more, because there was again much more gritty, much more naturalistic was the style of the mid-80s. So if the Doctor was much more earthbound, and honestly, if he kept his coat but had like a normal pinstripe suit or something on underneath it, that too would have worked. You could have still had the green cravat or a colourful, or even a Hawaiian shirt. That clash of things. But the bright trousers, pants were just. Ooh, it's a bit overpowering. But there you go. That's the mid-80s for you. So was Doctor Who rubbish? No, it wasn't. But again, these are fun little features. But you've seen how long it's taken me to go through this disc, and there's a lot to go through on it. Is it the greatest story of all time? No, it's really not. I would rather watch it than anything that Doctor Who's put out in the last 3 seasons, I will say. But, that's all I would say, right? That's really all I would say. Not much more than that. So now I'm excited. I'm on to Revelation of the Daleks, which hopefully I'll get that review out much quicker, because I'm probably going to enjoy watching that a lot more. Listen, you got Alexei Sell with his rock and roll gun, and I'm not even talking in code. How can I wait to watch that? My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.